Okay, everybody, we are back. Real Deal's back already. I know it's just a busy week. There's a lot going on. I called this meeting to order in order to go over the final election results. Last night we got the preliminary election results from our town election on Monday, and we really didn't have much to go on because most of the seats were really being filled by write-in candidates. And we do have some winners in the write-in category. We have some I don't knows because I don't know what to say. We've got the total, and but I'm going to get to, there's some funny things about this, but there's some that I'm not quite sure. I think we still have open seats. I know we do because we didn't have any serious takers, but we shall see. Let me go over them real quick. I don't want to waste any time. I got a lot to do. I got 2 meetings to attend later, and the day is slipping away. It's a beautiful day, and here I am stuck in the house doing videos. Oh my word, my priorities are a total mess. So I'm going to pull up the. What am I doing? There it is. I'm going to pull up the election results. I got to switch windows because I wanted to give you the best view. So I'm kind of watching from the side here. So here is the official final results from the town clerk's office. We have actually 2 town clerks. Well, we have one. Harrison Mayotte did win the election, so I guess he's the real deal. And Kathy Spofford's still in there trying to make the transition as smooth as possible for Mr. Mayotte. So I want to just go over this form real fast. Talking fast because I don't want to bore you to tears. So I just want to bring your attention to the upper right-hand corner. I want you to get an idea how many people we're talking about in this lovely town. Total registered voters in the town of Townsend as of the day of the election. That's registered voters who were eligible to vote. If you made the cutoff, which I think was last Friday, to get on this game of musical write-in candidates, we had 7,254 registered voters who were eligible to play with us on Monday. Of those 7,254 registered voters, 1,588 of them chose to vote. And about almost evenly split between the 3 precincts. You know, a town of our size, we actually have 3 precincts. How about that? And we're just over 500 in each one. The biggest voter return was in precinct 3, which I believe is, of course, don't ask me. I know I'm in precinct 1. That's all I know. I get confused when I try to answer the question of who's in 2 and 3. You should know. If you don't know, find out. It saves you time when you go to vote. If you already know, you don't have to look it up. They don't change it very often, so you're probably fine if once you know it and you don't move. So out of the 1,588 people, which I think that's a really good turnout. I've seen many municipal elections which had about 400. So this is pretty good. Oh, back to the registered voters part. I want to say that we only have under 10,000 residents. So we've got a lot of adults and most of them vote. That's amazing. That's really, we got more people interested in voting. I'm curious. I'd like to I'd like to talk to each and every one of you, interview you, just to find out why are you registered? What happened? Because we don't usually have this many. We've had almost 2,000 less registered voters without a big shift in population. So something's happening, and I don't know. You can probably tell me why you're a registered voter, but I don't know why everybody else is. Okay, so Board of Selectmen, we handled that. We knew Valerie was going to win before we even got up in the morning. Valerie, congratulations again. But it looks like I want you to. This is interesting. I cannot tell you why. But she's on the ballot. 1,061 people voted for her. 23 wrote in other people. And that's usually just kind of ceremonial. I don't know who was written in. I can guess, but I'd love to find out. Maybe I can. And then we had 504 people didn't vote for her at all. Didn't vote for anybody. Just left it blank. Nope, I'm not voting for Valerie and I'm not writing in anybody else. Okay. as we go through this, you'll see the trend. We'll see a trend. Kind of weird. Amanda Dwight. Okay, we already knew Karen was going to win because she put her name there. She's the only one that took out papers. And again, we got this huge number of people. 442 people didn't want to vote for her. Why? I mean, you took a ballot. Oh, I know this. Wait a minute. When we get to override, I didn't look at this part. I'll have to check later. Okay, so 1,137 people thought it was okay that she do this. I think most of us really do know Karen, or we know her of her work. She's pretty busy. She's running around this town. She's another one of those retired people that just can't seem to stop. Anyway, Amanda Dwight, that's another person. We have Lynn LeBlanc. She got a whole 21. So she only has 21 friends. She got 21 people to write her name in. For this, see, I told you the other day that you just have to get a dozen of your friends to write. She did not need 21 votes, but she went out of her way and made sure she had 21 people voting for her. I'm having fun with this, people. Okay, I'm not trying to be a jerk against anybody that won these elections or ran, or people wrote them in. Sometimes people write people's names in and they have no intention of ever sitting there. So, but this is, Lynn clearly looked for some people to write her name in, and she got more than she needed. She could have done it all in precinct 2. She could have done it with a dozen, but she got 21. Good for her. Congratulations on that big effort. And over 1,500 people left it blank. Was this supposed to be a 2? Nope, a 1 year. Those are both 1 year, one person seats. Amazing. Okay, Board of Assessors. Well, we got a realtor in there. I knew there was a realtor out there that Laura was trying to get on. She mentioned it at the last assessors meeting, and she was very disappointed that this unknown realtor didn't take out papers. But I guess Darlene Sedano might have been that realtor. I have no idea. I may never know the answer to that question, but it probably was. If I'm going to guess, we only have so many realtors in Townsend that would even be eligible for this. But she has 39 friends. She found 39 people to write her name in. That was probably easy. She's well known in the community. And she was probably at Earth Day. She usually runs the shredded paper thing. That's usually her contribution to the community on that day. And she provides that service. And she probably told people that were hanging around there, if you shredded paper, you're probably one of those 39 people that she told. I'm assuming. I don't know. But she, as a realtor, you talk to, a lot of people, and she's on the ZBA, by the way. And on that, I have a question. This is not, I'm not trying to be mean, or I'm not being, questioning. I'm really not. I am asking a question, but I'm not accusing anybody of anything funny. I'm just asking, up in the sky, is this a conflict? I mean, my imagination can go down the road a little bit, but she's on the ZBA. Can you be on the ZBA and the Board of Assessors? Is there, because the ZBA deals with appeals from the building inspector to do something that's not, it would be, I can't remember the wording, but if you go to the building inspector and you want to do something on your property and it's not necessarily allowed, but it's not bad. I mean, you can appeal your denial by the building inspector, which is usually because of a zoning issue. And you appeal it to the ZBA. They determine whether it's okay. And that does have an impact on property values, but the Board of Assessors isn't really going out there and making decisions. But I don't know. I have no idea what the law is. I don't know. It's just a question. And I mean it as an innocent question. I am not picking on Darlene. I'm just asking, can you be on the ZBA and the Board of Assessors at the same time? Is there a conflict? That's just a question. Okay, chill. All right, Board of Health. We already knew Paul Serene lost. I was giving him I gave him a little bit of an endorsement, and I don't think my endorsement caused this problem. Todd's been trying to get on the Board of Health for a little while, and he succeeded. So, Paul, you get a couple years off, you can just enjoy yourself. Oh, you can run next year if you want to get back on. Because I think, yeah, I think you guys were talking again. I think Jim LaCour's talking about leaving, or his term's up next year anyway, so I don't know what he's doing. But it's Todd's. We already knew that from yesterday because they were both on the ballot. Elizabeth Holmes and Amy Bronkema, we already knew that they won because they were on the ballot yesterday. Todd, we knew he won yesterday because he took out papers. Cemetery and Parks, we knew Brian Sanford won because he took out papers. And I'm looking at this trend that even though we have people on the ballot, this whole 400 and some odd number at least never voted for anybody, despite the fact that people had taken out papers. So we have, this 400 and something people. This is amazing. To me, it's kind of weird. I don't have a comparative here. I haven't looked up the previous ballots from different years, although I just might because I'm really curious about this. How come so many people did not just vote for the incumbent or the person who took out papers? And this is a double whammy here. This is over 700 people. Okay, this one, the Board of Trustees 3-year, this is vote for 2. The clerk didn't put it on here on the final results. You might want to fix that so we know, because this is confusing. But where there's 1447, that reminds me that this was vote for 2. And so if you didn't vote for either one, you got 2 blanks. You got hit for 2 blanks. So basically 700 people didn't vote. That's weird. Or no, it's not. That's wrong. I'm saying it wrong. I'm right, but I'm saying it wrong. So because you could hit 2 boxes, 700 people didn't. I don't know. And a lot of people are quick when they're voting, and they don't notice that it's vote for 2, and they only vote for 1. You see that a lot on the Democratic and the Republican Party, or when both, mostly them. In March in the presidential campaigns, we have to vote for the committee members for the political parties. And some people just check 1 box and move on. So whoever's first on the ballot, they pick a name and they vote for that person and they win. But actually, it's vote for 10 or something like that. The parties get to decide how many people they want on their. It's a sidebar on different election, but right now, I think a lot of voters just messed up on this one. But you still had about the same number of people who thought it would be nice not to vote for anyone, even though people are on the ballot. So I don't see that. There's nothing personal against any of the candidates. They just didn't want to vote for any of them. And I suspect when we get down to the override, it might show its rear its ugly head as to why people voted no on the override. I'll get there, but they voted up. They voted yesterday because of the override, not because of the election. That's what I think. So here we have, Brian again, 453, Regional School District. Now, Keenan Francois, I would say it that way. I don't know if he does, but Keenan Francois won that handily with 96 votes. So he has a lot of friends. Actually, I knew that he was one of the people that was running. He was running on a write-in. I was told his name halfway through the morning, but it was after I voted. Because when I got there, I voted and then walked around and talked to people. And that's when Cindy, vote for this guy. Oh, sorry. I already voted. And so he has 96 friends. That's good. He's got more friends than anybody here. Okay, then we have Planning Board 1 year and Planning Board 5 years. I'm going to talk about these two together. That I told you, on my other video the other day, I told you people do this. They do a write-in, or whoever's doing the write-in, you tell people to vote for you in both positions, and you'll pick, because you got to do it that way, because you don't know what anybody else might be doing, because if you only go for the position you want, somebody else might be doing the double whammy and you actually lose out. And then the other person really would like it's a 1 year and a 5 year. That's a big difference. If you win, you might say, I really only want to do the 1 year. So you take that. I think you have whoever actually win. I mean, you get to pick, I think. I can't imagine anybody making that decision for you. And then the other person is either stuck with nothing, or they get to pick this one too. So it looks like Lance McNally, who's been on the planning board, and he's a famous one too that doesn't take out papers. He runs this way all the time. If he runs, he took a few years off. I don't know. He did not take out papers this time. I don't know if he really wants to be on there or not, or if he will. I have no idea. I think they're shorthanded over there, especially with Laura quit. So they're short. Hartley, he's the guy. He's one of the guys behind the cameras. During meetings, he works TCAM. He's been our camera guy for years. And might hear his name in a Zoom meeting once in a while. He only got 2 votes in each of these, and that low of a number, I don't know if they'll even allow. I don't know if that's high enough to even count. But it looks like the clerk's office just put everybody in. I don't know, unless he said he wanted to. This is confusing. He may have told the town clerk's office that he was running a write-in campaign. Didn't tell too many people to write him in. I don't know, because they put his name on the ballot, so they're giving him something. I'm not sure. Because write-in scatterings, usually number of 2 ends up in scatterings, which means there's not enough votes to count. So these could be 4 different people, 3 different people, 5 different people, 12 different people who got their name put in here. I don't know. I really don't know what to say here. But Hartley probably is going to be offered, my guess, the 5 year. And he might even, I don't know if he'll do it. I have no idea. This is interesting. Yeah. But Lance gets to pick. Best I could tell, he's either going to be on a 1 year or 5 year. I know what I'd do. I would pick the 1. That's what I would do. Just so you don't have to, you get in, you do a year. If you don't like it, you can quit. If your life goes in a different direction, you're not committed to anything. That's what I do. I don't know. Fascinating. This is fascinating. I really thought it would be a little bit. I thought that they had more people lined up. I'm surprised. I am. I'm really surprised. I figured there was going to be a surprise there. Now here's my surprise. This really is my surprise. Rec Commission. Oh boy. Gonna have fun and games over the rec. Yep. I might even start going to their meetings now. I went to one. This might be worth going to. We have Mary Jane Churchville. It looks like she ran a write-in campaign. 18 votes she got. That's more than enough. And this is vote for 2. I am so confused. Blanks. Okay, we have 3,000 blanks. All right. Okay, I know. All right, I'm losing my mind now. Okay, Patricia Russell and Mary Jane Churchville get on with, because they have, between the 2 of them, they have 23 friends. That's sad. No, they have 23 friends. I mean, 33. Oh, see, I can't add. 33 friends between them. I wonder if some of them are the same friends. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But they ran a write-in, and they won. Yeah. What are these? I don't get this. They were not on the ballot. That's, I know. Here's another one. Rec commissioners, 2 year. This person took out papers. Rachel Palmer won, 934 votes. And yeah, she took out papers, right? Or did she? I don't remember now. If she didn't, I don't know where those 934 votes came from. Because this is saying two. I'm so confused. Anyway, so town clerk, we already know Harrison won. Again, we have 200 blanks. That's not too bad. It was a contested race, so people actually voted. Then we have Townsend Housing Authority. John Moran did in fact run. I think he's the same guy that was on there before. Yeah, he was. I'm sorry. Yes, he is the guy. He was on, then he was off, then he got appointed. But there's not enough people on here. There's still not enough people. Yeah, and he did the same thing. This is going over 2 different pages. So he did the same thing. Told his friends to write him in for both seats. And that's what you do. That's what you do. And when somebody asks you to do that, do it. Just do it. They're not asking you to do anything illegal. They have a strategy, and please help them. If you're going to vote for them and they ask you to write their name in 2 seats in both places, just do it. Don't say, I don't think I'm supposed to. Don't say that. Just do it. Because they have a strategy. Your friend has a strategy. And let me warn you guys, if you do want to do a write-in campaign and there's 2 seats open, tell your friends to write you in for both seats. Because that's where the money is. There's no money here, but that's where. And John Moran, he told only 15 of his friends listened to him, or 9 of his friends listened to him and wrote him in both places. The other 6 wasn't too sure if they could do that. They were chicken. I don't know. Can I do that? Yes, you can. Or you were writing in a second person. Maybe you were trying to get somebody else in there, and it backfired because that other person didn't get enough votes. I don't know. We'll never know because this is all kind of secret squirrel stuff. I think. I think you can, if you really want the information. This is public record. A lot of it. You could do a public records request and find out who these scatterings are. It's not private. Who voted for them? You'll never know. But who was written in, even if they only got 1 vote, like this over here, precinct 1, you can find out who that is. Okay. No one of any consequence. I was going to say substance, but I'm sure that, yeah. But nobody won the trust fund commissioners. So they need to see all these ones that didn't get enough votes. Guess what? The selectmen get to appoint them. This is something you didn't want. And there you are. We got to find a dozen friends and run for these seats, people. That's it. It's easier to do. It's as bad as it is. It's easy. A lot of times people do it that way because it's easier than taking out papers. You got to get like 45 signatures if you're going to run for something on the ballot. But if you're going to do a write-in, you just need 12 friends to write you in. You got it? Okay, so here we are. Down to the soldiers' memorials. Walter Mann, of course, he won. We knew that because he was the only name on the ballot. And then we come down here, and here we have. This is scary. This is scary. We have 2 friends competing. 2 people competing. Well, they're not 2 friends compete. What is this? Does it? No, it is right. It is vote for 1. Why? Okay. Never mind. I'm confused over nothing. Sorry. I do know what this says. All right. Joe Weatherall and Pete Buxton were both telling their friends to vote for them. And guess what? They didn't know there was competition. And this is something this is exactly why I tell people, if there's 2 different seats, this is not the situation here, but this is a good example of what happens when you have competition between 2 serious people who both want a position. And in the event that there are 2 seats available, you got to get a dozen of your friends to write you in twice. That way, whatever competition might be out there, you might have half a chance. This is a little different situation. It's only 1 seat, but these are 2 people that ran a write-in campaign. And Pete Buxton won. He has 4 more friends than Joel Weatherall. or 4 more friends that wrote them in. So congratulations, Pete. Yeah. So, and here we are at the override, and this is where we only had 13 blanks. So this is where we get an explanation about what the reason was that people came out to vote. Is I was sitting outside of the rec, sitting on the curb with a couple people at one point for a little while, Monday, and I said, "No, everybody's coming out for the override. They're not coming out for anything." I think I even told Harrison, I said, "They're not coming out for you. I mean, some of them are, of course. They're coming out because it's a contested race. It's very serious. But this crowd is for the override question." So I don't mean that to be insulting to Harrison. I was just a comment. Like, all these people are coming out mostly for the override. And this little section here on the final results proves it, because only 13 people didn't vote on this. They left it blank. They didn't care, or they didn't understand it. And they just left it blank, those 13 people. I don't know, maybe those 13 people are up here in, I don't know, Friends of Joe. No, I don't know. But these people, most everybody that came out yesterday voted in the override question. And most people that did vote in the override question did not vote for candidates. Half of the people that voted, well, a portion of the people, half the people that left blanks on all the other seats, half of them did make a choice in the contested race on town clerk. If we scroll back, we see all these blanks. The ones who were had write-in candidates only, there were around 1,500 people. Almost everybody that came out to vote didn't on the questions that were write-in only. And you can scroll through these and see that, which that would be the case anyway. That makes sense. I'm the one not making sense here. But then we look at town clerk, we have 214 blanks, when other places would have a much higher number of blanks. So of the people that came out to vote for the override, most of them were also planning to vote in the contested town clerk race. But most of the people that actually many of the people that came out only cared about the override. That was the draw. And that is proven by the numbers. So very interesting. But I just wanted to go through all these. I know sometimes everybody's excited at the beginning, but nobody wants, people want to know about the write-ins, but sometimes it's hard to get that information. You're just left sitting there. But this is what it looks like when the final numbers are in. And this is final. I don't think we're going to have a recount. I don't know. Planning board, what is it? The Townsend, it's close enough that the non-veteran race could go to a recount. They could, Joel, what's his name there? He could ask for a recount. Oh, don't do it. Please don't do it. That would be bad. And I'm sorry, town clerk's office, for even mentioning it. But when we scroll back down to this race right here, we have 12. The winner won by 4 votes. That's close. And then we had a bunch of scatterings. That's close. I don't know. Could there be a recount on this write-in vote? Oh my. Hartley, he got 2 votes up in the planning, but I think there's enough votes in between him and Lance to say that he's not gonna, I don't care how many times you count those votes, he lost. But he might end up on the planning board. We shall see. The planning board has a meeting next week, so we'll find out who shows up. I don't think Hartley. I don't know. I'm making jokes here, and I apologize to Hartley. I've known Hartley a lot of years. He's a good guy. But I don't know how his name got on there. Did he write himself in and have one other friend? I don't know. Did he take 2 ballots? I don't think so. We have secure balloting here. I'm making jokes. Sorry, people are going to take me serious. Don't do it. But anyway, so I just wanted to bring this up. I'm going to go back to just me. Hi, it's me again. So this was my hopefully somewhat humorous but informative report on the final tally on the Townsend municipal election for Monday, April 28th, 2025. Now, let me see. What time is it? Oh, God, it's almost 2 o'clock. As I'm doing this video, I'm going to try to get this processed and get this out to you, because at 4 o'clock, I'll be, thankfully, I don't have to go anywhere. I can sit at home and watch the Townsend Affordable Housing Trust. I think a lot of people, if you're interested in what the heck's going on around here, you have got to watch the Affordable Housing Trust meeting at 4 o'clock if you're around. I know everybody's out in the yard and I'm here in the house, but oh, what a fool I am today. So, because I think it's supposed to be like 81 degrees or something. Here I am. Let me see. I'm going to look at my weather app. Hold on. My weather doc says it's 80, and here I am stuck in the house with a sweatshirt on. I don't know. It's cold. The heat hasn't permeated my house. But anyways, at 4 o'clock is the Affordable Housing Trust meeting. And at their last meeting I think it was Tuesday. Pretty sure it was Tuesday. I have to look again, but I think it was Tuesday. They had announced they ran out of time. They ran out of time because TCAM kicked them off Zoom. I don't know. This is a new thing for me. But TCAM kicked the Affordable Housing Trust off Zoom. And they couldn't finish their meeting because they talked too much, or at least they did that day. Oh, don't get me started. But they were reporting that they never spent their ARPA money. They never properly allocated it, so they had to give it back. And they were rushing to get the money back into the hands of the Board of Selectmen or back to the town so that the town could reallocate it, so that we don't have to turn it back to the federal government. And they're on such a tight schedule. They have to be reallocated by tomorrow, and reported to the federal government by the close of business tomorrow. I want to tell you how impossible that is. But Tuesday, I don't know what they're thinking. And I want to bring your attention to Veronica Cal. She's really, I don't know I don't know that she's the chair anymore over there. I have no idea who's running that show over there. But she's on the Board of Selectmen and the Affordable Housing Trust. And she's really, whether she's the chair or not, she's directing life itself over there. And I don't know if that's a good idea, especially after this. It's her fault that the ARPA money never got allocated. And now it's her fault that last Tuesday, that should have been the first thing on the agenda. It was the most important thing on the agenda, and they saved it for last, and they couldn't get to it. So they had to reschedule another meeting where they could have a quorum, and for some unknown reason, they thought that waiting a whole week was a good idea. Oh, we got time. We don't have to reallocate it till the 30th. So let's do it on the 29th. Why didn't you wait it till tomorrow? So now, if they reallocate it to the town today at 4 o'clock, which is their plan, it's what in the world? Okay. Wrong. So my computer just did that on its own. I don't know what you saw, but this was woo. StreamYard has a mind of its own sometimes. Okay, so Veronica and the Affordable Housing Trust, they don't control the universe. I know they want to, but they don't. They have no authority over the town's budget, just their little trust fund, which isn't that little. They're getting money. They got money over there. Maybe we'll find out at town meeting how much money they have. But they have, so they're at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The only thing on their agenda is reallocating this ARPA money. I think it's $100,000 but I'm not sure. We're going to find out at 4 o'clock, but you got to log into Zoom. Otherwise you got to wait. I'm not going to have time to do another video. Oh, well, I'm going to be going to the selectmen's meeting. But anyway, in order to get this really allocated into the town's budget, and it has to be reallocated once it's given back to the town. That means the Board of Selectmen has to allocate it. Town administrator can't do it. The Board of Selectmen have to vote on it. Okay? And it's got to go it's got to be reallocated by close of business tomorrow. And I'm going to reiterate that Veronica Kell is on Affordable Trust, the Affordable Housing Trust, and the Board of Selectmen. So last Tuesday, she knew that it had to get reallocated by the Board of Selectmen by Wednesday. She knew this. This is no secret. This is not unforeseen. She knew a week ago. She rushed to schedule it on the Affordable Housing Trust agenda, knowing. And somewhere between then and now, the Board of Selectmen scheduled their meeting for 6 o'clock this evening. Guess what's not on their agenda? If you're smart, you guessed. The reallocation of the ARPA funds is not on the agenda. It is now almost 0 hour, 4 hours away. They can't add it. They cannot add it. They cannot make that vote because it's a big violation of the open meeting law. And it's a real serious one. And I'm going to explain that in a moment. But it was not unforeseen. Veronica Kell, who is on the Board of Selectmen, she's not the chair, so she doesn't have full control over the agenda, but she can talk to the town administrator, and it is her responsibility to do so. She needed last week, no later than Friday, to say, Nelson, we need to get this on the agenda. She could have even talked to Laura Schifrin. She could have talked to Laura and said, if Nelson was off or something, she could have called Laura up and said, you need to get this on the agenda. You need to do, if the agenda had already been sent in, she needs to get it. Kathy, we need to amend it, get it on there, whatever. It's okay for selectmen to talk about scheduling. She didn't have to explain anything, but she just needed to find a way to get it on the agenda. Nope. It didn't happen. So here we are, 0 hour. You can do additions and deletions. The chair can make additions and deletions, but only those things that are not unforeseen. This is not unforeseen. This is not an emergency. This isn't, the Affordable Housing Trust didn't vote on it until 4 o'clock, so we couldn't do anything with it until today. So it is unforeseen and it's urgent. Oh no, because a member of the Board of Selectmen knew what needed to happen and for good cause, knew that it was going to happen, especially because it's ARPA money and it couldn't be reallocated. It will be reallocated by the trust at 4 o'clock. So when it comes to 6 o'clock, the selectmen, I don't do it. Let it go. If they do it, yours truly will be doing an open meeting law violation complaint before I go to bed tonight. Maybe it might be tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm going to do it because the reason this is so serious is they can't tell the feds that they violated the open meeting law to make this happen. Because what happens when you do an open meeting law complaint, if there's a material impact on an unlawful vote, when the Attorney General, and that's who does open meeting law things, gets this and says, no, this is not unforeseen, and they will order the retraction, then because if this gets allegedly reallocated, and even if the feds think it was okay, and then the town allocates $100,000 and spends the damn money, which they have to spend before the end of the year, the fiscal year. No, maybe not. I might have that wrong. They're going to have to give the money back to the feds. The attorney general will say, all bets are off. There's no, they have to be prepared for that. So that's, let's see, in accounting, what do we call that in accounting? It's a potential liability. There's another, I don't think that's the right word, but it's a potential, they have to, it's considered some kind of liability. Harrison has, or somebody tell me, I can't remember the terminology, but it's considered a potential liability. They have to leave it. They can allocate it, but there has to be $100,000 somewhere allocated in the budget to deal with the potential legal ramifications of an open meeting law violation, that the attorney general could say, you need to unravel that vote. You have to go back and redo it. That vote is now rescinded, and the attorney general can make that directive, and it could be 4 months from now. Let's see, this is May, June, July, August, up until September. The attorney general can say, oh, you need to rescind that vote and revote it. That would mean it's too late to reallocate the money in September. Therefore, that money needs to go back to the feds whenever that decision is made. So I know some people don't want this, but they can't legally do it. And I'm so fed up with the Board of Selectmen violating the open meeting law that there's nothing on this earth that's going to stop me. Nothing. Except somebody kills me. If I died over the next 24 hours, it's because somebody killed me, because they don't want me to do this. But somebody else will, because I just made this video and there's plenty of room to do it. There's also going to be an open meeting law complaint filed, not by me. I didn't witness it because I didn't go to Earth Day. The Board of Selectmen had a little booth together. We had a quorum of the Board of Selectmen that sat there all day at Earth Day, letting voters know, educating voters about something under the jurisdiction of the Board of Selectmen, while they sat together informing voters about the budget and the override and the threats about what they were going to do if you didn't vote for it. That's a quorum of the body meeting without a posted agenda. I'm sick to they don't get it. They don't get it. So there's an open meeting law complaint coming. I'm not writing it, but somebody, I know at least one person, maybe more, are going to be writing, it might have already been submitted, an open meeting law complaint regarding the Board of Selectmen's activities on Earth Day. It's disgusting. They just don't care about the open meeting law. They just, go ahead, and I think if they saw me walking down the aisle, maybe one of them would have gone to get something to eat and wait until Cindy left, but I never showed up. So other people did. Other people care other than me. I'm not the only open meeting law police in this town. So they're toast. We're going to get fined. I can't even imagine that we're not going to get a fine after this one. The ones I did in January still haven't been determined yet. Maybe they'll show up today. I don't know. I keep checking every day. It's close. We should be getting determinations on the ones I filed in January. I filed 2 in January, and they have to be determinations of yes. So we'll find out. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them doesn't produce a fine, but I'm pretty sure whoever files Sunday is going to be a fine. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to stop babbling because I've gone off the topic, but that's what I'm doing this afternoon. I got 2 hours to get ready for the Zoom meeting for the Affordable Housing Trust and watch this whole thing blow up. The beginning of this circling the drain starts at 4, and then at 6 o'clock, I'm going to go in person to the Board of Selectmen meeting at Town Hall, and I encourage people to go. I think that it should be popular if people aren't still working in the yard where I should be to go. to go to the select board meeting and see what they have to say about the overwhelming landslide vote against their scheme to get an override. I can't wait to do I got a couple more videos in the pipeline. I can't wait to do them. All right. Have a good day. We're just about done here. I'm going to close everything out. So have a good day, everybody. And I will see you on the next video, which is coming soon. I think we're going to have a chock full week here. All right.